Welcome back to the Carl Lewis International Complex, everybody. My name's Garrett Jones. She's Paige Lawrence. We've seen a very entertaining first half of action as Houston nestles a 3-1 lead. Ready for action in the second half on a sunny afternoon in this Sunday matchup in the American Conference between Houston and Tulsa. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Garrett Jones. Paige Lawrence alongside me here. And for Houston in that first half, it was a slow start, but 3 huge goals to absolutely flip the script.
Yeah, definitely a slower start here for your Houston Cougars, but after that first goal from Tulsa, I think that definitely woke the beast here up in the Houston Cougars, definitely playing with higher energy, more aggression, and even communicating more. Fans are in the stands here as we're seeing as the spring sports for UH move to 25% capacity here.
Great catch, Paige. There's just no contrast between what we saw in the season opener against Houston Baptist, where it was by pass only, right?
Yeah.
You could only get in if you were a close family member or a friend. And there were maybe, 50 people in attendance in that home opener? A crowd of a couple hundred people here today, and you can absolutely sense a palpable change in the energy level. Ready for action here in the second half. Houston guarding a 3-1 lead, looking for win number 4 on the 2021 season.
And it's also senior day for your Cougars, so you're seeing them play with much more fire under their bellies today. And look at this, Amy Wynn there.
Amy Wynn has to chase it all the way back toward the Houston net. Cougs in their home white kits, Tulsa in the road blacks. Houston now moves left to right as we describe the action. Tulsa rockets this one in, now moving right to left. Here's a touch in the midfield as Houston gets its first look in Tulsa territory in this second frame. Goals for Houston in that first, 8 minutes of action from Grant Brown and Mia Brasha, each one of those elite goal scorers tallying their 3rd of the season.
Seeing Sanders here trying to navigate the ball here, even sending it back.
Tulsa, on the other hand, comes in at 1-3. It scored just its 4th goal of the 2021 season today. Its prior 3 all came in one contest in a 3-2 win over UCF on the last day of February. Work still to do for Houston today as Matthews sees that one roll out of bounds off of her thigh. And we'll get a throw in for Deebly and Tulsa. Right back to her. It sets up with a touch for Kayla Fernandez. Mia Brasha doing work on the defensive end, trying to get that one to Furmanek. Brasha is such a strong, offensively minded player. You see her there boxing out Fernandez.
Nice play there, yeah.
That goes back to the H-Town hustle that you mentioned. It's the mantra of this Houston team this year, and you really see that with their style of play. We mentioned Ziana Brown, who we're both just such a huge fan of, just of how she plays with high energy and physical separation. It matriculates all the way down through every player on the roster. And, even a goal scorer like Mia Brasha, somebody like her who's a forward who scores a lot, might have a reputation of somebody who's a little more of a finesse scorer. You think of several professional soccer players who kind of have that reputation. But you look at her and you look at Jasmine Grant and you think that is not the case at all. Both of those players are not afraid to get physical.
And you also notice with this team that they're very much aware of ball and placement as well. So you're seeing them play with a little bit more strategically this year than versus your prior years for your Houston Cougar team.
Touchback on the defensive side for Tulsa. Deebly tried to get in, and instead it'll be a throw-in. Emma Ebert opposite Janae Sanders. Ebert, the freshman from Kingwood High School, making a homecoming, checks into the contest for the first time today. Several players on this Tulsa roster hail from the Houston area. In addition to Ebert, there's a Juliet Haro who we haven't seen as we get a whistle here as Houston gets a good look in front of the net. Juliet Haro from Katie Tompkins. Tompkins is one of the best soccer programs in the area. We haven't seen her this afternoon. Goal kick coming as Malsey sends this one toward the midfield line, and advantageous bounce. It comes right back with Tulsa.
This time around, I'm sensing a bit of the wind picking up.
Right.
Just a little bit on the back of Tulsa's end. So in Tulsa's favor, the wind is on their back here. So I wonder if that will be any difference for them here in this second half.
Deebly with an effort play to set up a free kick for Emily Brandenburg. Another one of those Houston area players, hails from Spring and Concordia Lutheran School. Here's Jasmine Grant, the Atascocita product, sending it well into the Tulsa defense. And back with Emma Mulsey. Her third stop collegiately after time at Arizona State and Kansas State. Chopped down into midfield. Sanders peeks behind and gets a look for Houston. Just couldn't quite get into it as time as that one rolls out of play. Houston looking for its fourth win at home and in as many contests. Vermanick back for Sanders, getting a lot of touches in this second half. Has that one broken up.
Sanders plays very neat here. She's very patient as well as she plays, and I'm noticing that time after time as she comes in contact with the ball, she's very precise on the way she handles the ball as well.
Caitlin Matthews with a touch in the midfield, not on the same page with Adriana Hudson there.
But look who's there on the outside. That's Wynn there coming up as she does.
And that's what Amy Wynn does. A senior transfer from Oklahoma State, a Houston Memorial product, just always seems to be in the right place at the right time. And you get things straightened out here. Our assistant referee, Ethan Free, sets up the right place to toss it in for Houston. Leading 3-1.
Ooh.
5 minutes into this second half, and a nice stab there by Mulsey to keep that one from setting up a scoring chance.
Yeah, I kind of cringed a bit there because if any other Cougar was there at that moment, definitely would have been a score goal there on Mulsey.
She punts this one off the head of Maddie Gear. Houston attempts to settle it down, but more pressure from Tulsa.
Here comes Brasha here trying to set something up here. Gear there.
She's with a lot of speed, swipes on in. Grant gets taken down. No whistle.
No whistles there. Official claiming fair play on that last play there, but Grant did kind of take a kneel there.
Emma Clark resets. That one's too long for Hudson. As we wrap things up, we welcome you back here to our pitside perch, and Paige Houston goes on top today. A very big win. Looking forward to that USF matchup a week from today. Still got to handle Cincinnati on Wednesday, but today they were just the more aggressive and offensively talented team.
Great win here by your Houston Cougars, as although they did get a slow start today, but they were able to pick up the energy after that first goal from Tulsa and bring it back for the win there, 4-1 over Tulsa today. Great competition we saw today and conference play for the Cougars.
Houston goes to 4-2-1 on the season. Tulsa falls to 1-4. Also very important first 2 points picked up for Houston in the American Conference table. They were the last team to record a point. Goals today for Houston from Grant, Brown, Brasha, and finally from Kamasa. Before we wrap it up, Paige, any final thoughts on what you saw today?
Definitely think that this is the win that the Cougars were desperately in need as for their conference play. They will see Cincinnati next week, so I definitely believe they will take this energy that they played against Tulsa and take that into their road game against Cincinnati for hopefully a win for that team.
Houston comes out on top in front of its home fans, still undefeated at the Carl Lewis Complex. On behalf of our awesome crew, Austin, Zach, and Michael getting here early and setting things up, my broadcast partner, Paige Lawrence, I'm Garrett Jones saying goodbye, and thanks for watching from a beautiful, sunny University of Houston.